Hello, my name is Siobhan and I'm a researcher and lecturer in University College Cork, Ireland, and I'm delighted to be joining you virtually today. So I'm going to discuss one aspect of a larger project, the Model for Dementia Palliative Care project. So we know that palliative care is suitable for anyone with a life-limiting illness, including people with dementia. Palliative care addresses physical, psychological, social, and spiritual needs, and is suitable from diagnosis until the end of life. Ideally, palliative care would be delivered in a community-based model, as most people with dementia wish to remain at home. So a mixed method project is currently underway to inform the development of a new service delivery model for dementia palliative care for the Irish healthcare system. And the aim of this current sub-study is to robustly evaluate existing services to inform this new model. So what we first did was conducted a survey of key stakeholders to identify centres of excellence in dementia palliative care across 4 countries. From a long list, we identified 4 key diverse services. We conducted site visits to these 4 services, and we collected routine service data. We conducted interviews, focus groups, and surveys with staff, and also collected user feedback from people with dementia and family members who used or family who are using or who had used the service, and we did that via surveys. So what we did with this data then was we developed 4 logic models to describe each of the 4 services. So logic model is a visual illustration of the service's resources, activities, and expected outcomes. So as an example, I have here one logic model. So this is a simplified version of one of the service logic models we developed. So essentially you describe the intervention or service, then you list all of the different inputs or resources that are required to run the service. Then you look at what are the key components of that service, including, the specific activities in the day-to-day running of it. These components then map out to some short-term outcomes, which will hopefully benefit the patient and family. And together, these all lead to long-term outcomes for people who are living in the catchment area of that service. So in the interest of time, what I've done is picked out some of the common components that were key to the service's success. So I was able to group these into 6 themes. So the first was around comprehensive care. So all of the 4 services had a key worker who was available to advocate for the person with dementia's needs. And all services offered multiple interventions so that they were addressing all 4 pillars of palliative care. All engaged in person-centered practice. So the staff really got to know the person with dementia, ideally early on. And people with dementia were engaged early in advanced care planning processes. Integrated care is key to each of the services. So again, a key worker was available to coordinate the care across the different settings that the person might be involved in. And dementia and palliative care teams worked together. So there was no handover of care. It was a truly integrated service. Again, all services offered care 24/7. This might just be phone support, out of hours, but this was really important that care was accessible, so that it really allowed the person to stay living at home in advanced illness and until death. The services also offered equal access to palliative care. So this was based on needs and not a person's diagnosis. Central to a community model was keeping the carer central in unit of care, and they were involved in decision-making with their loved one. So for someone with advanced dementia to be kept at home, the carer needs to be supported to keep them at home. And finally, end-of-life care. So all services offer choice in end-of-life care, including choice around place of death, often, supporting the person to die at home if that's what they wished. And all services had sophisticated prognostication using appropriate tools and clinical judgment. So each service was organised differently, but there were common components key to an effective service. A new service model will need to be flexible, as its success is dependent on local resources and champions, rather than a focus on a prescriptive organisational structure. So if you're interested in this project, please visit our project website or Twitter page, or if you have any questions, please email me. So thank you very much for listening today.